Okay, good morning everybody. I've finished taking roll now, and as you all already know, I'm Mrs. Key. For those of you that I'm filming for my graduate class for Auburn, my name is Jamie Key, and we are in a BTA class at Delville High School, and we're going to do our Pledge of Allegiance. Stand up everyone, please. Ready? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, you may be seated. If you have not already done so, log on to your Gaggle accounts. You can see the latest assignment that's been posted. Today we're going to start Excel Lesson 4.
Is this supposed to be here?
You can close that out. I don't need that right now. In Lesson 4 today, we're going to be covering workbooks, printing the whole workbook, modifying page setup, inserting headers and footers, utilize page layout view, page break features. We're going to set print areas. We're going to repeat row and column areas. We're going to utilize the copy and paste features. We're going to freeze labels while scrolling through our document. We're going to link workbooks and utilize 3D formulas. Now also, if you have any questions, I'll be glad to answer them now. Okay, everybody got on the Gaggle and you see the assignment?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, I did also want to review with you, some of you on Lesson 3. Okay, I wanted to review Lesson 21, Exercise 21 from last week. Some of you did not perform these calculations right, so I wanted to go over with you. It wanted us to perform a if function. So in cell G10, we're going to start our formula by typing equal in the formula bar. We're going to type the words IF and double click on your if formula, if function. Now when I open this menu here, where your logical test goes, we were supposed to determine whether E10 was greater than F10. That's the logical test. That's the information you want to know. Now if this data were true, we were supposed to display the word over, and if it were false, we were supposed to display the word under. So if you look at your arguments menu here, this makes it a little bit easier sometimes to determine for you what goes in the formula. So you would click OK, and your formula would display, your results would display here, and then you can just copy this all the way down by holding your mouse in that corner till it turned to the black cross and drag it down and copy it. So that was our if function we were supposed to perform in G10 and then copy all the way through G16. In G18, it wanted us to use the COUNTIF function. So again, we're going to start the formula by typing equals, and you can start typing count. COUNTIF is going to display on your menu here. You can double click it. Now again, you can use this as a hint to go by. It tells you exactly what is supposed to go in your function. You would put your range and then the criteria that you're looking for. Or again, you can click on your formula button and use this window, and your range, this is what we want to look at, is this over projection column. So you can select that and it's automatically going to insert it for you, or you can manually type G10 through G16. Do you understand that? You can either click here and select your range and it puts it in, or you could just back up and simply type G10 through G16, whichever is easiest for you. Then the criteria you were supposed to determine is the word under. You want it to tell you, it needs to be typed just like it is on the screen, so you need to use that capital U. Need to tell it under Now once you have that in there and you click OK, it counts that for you. That's what that function does. It counts how many things over here were under the projection, and it told you there were 3. Now in G19, it wanted you to use the SUMIF function, which in this case was a little bit complicated because we had to use 2 SUMIF functions in the same formula. So here you were supposed to start out by typing your equal. You can type the word sum, double click on SUMIF. And again, like I said, I think this is the easiest for you to determine what goes in your menu here by clicking the range. Again, we're looking at the same over projection column. We're selecting G10 through G16. Our criteria, it wanted us to find everything that was under the projection. So type the word under for your criteria, and then the sum range is going to be different. It wanted us to add everything in the projected revenue column that fell under the projection. So you can simply click and highlight this selection and tell that OK. Now, if it only asked us to add everything in the projected revenue column that fell under the projection, then we would be done. This would be our answer. However, this is a 2-part problem. It wanted us to subtract from that total another SUMIF function. So you simply type in sum again, double click on SUMIF. Our range we're going to choose again is the same area because we want to tell what is under the projection. So you choose that again, and if you go by this hint here, it will tell you to just type a comma, your criteria. This time you have to manually type in the quotations if you're not using your menu to tell it that that's the criteria you're looking for. You type your comma, and then your sum range. This time it asked us to determine Q3 totals that were under the projection. You have to close those parentheses. Now our double SUMIF function is done, so you can hit enter or you can hit this green check mark, and that gives you your total. I wanted to go over this with you because some of you simply looked at the illustration in the book and did not even read what it was asking you to do, or maybe you did and you just didn't understand and didn't ask for help, and you just simply typed in this number here. Well, when I go in to check it and I click on it, if I don't see these functions pop up in this formula bar, then it's not going to be correct. Okay, so I just wanted to review that with you real quickly. And now we're going to move on to exercise 23 in our books. So everyone turn to page 480. And I'm going to go through this exercise with you. Okay. You should have Excel opened on your screen. Click on your Excel icons and open Excel. Andrew, come on, keep up with me. Once you have Excel open, go up here to your Office button. Go to Open. You're going to go to My Computer. You're going to go to your D drive where the CD is. You're going to click on Data Files. You're going to go to your Excel folder. We're on step number 3 on page 480, and it tells us to open 23 trip budget. So you're simply going to click on 23 trip budget and open this document. Everybody with me? Dylan, are you with me?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Okay. The instructions say before printing we need to create a header and a footer. So we want to go to the page layout tab on your ribbon. Okay, open that. You're going to open your page setup dialog box. Once you have that open, Dylan, I need you to keep up with me. You're going to go to your header footer tab on your page setup dialog box.
Where at?
All right. You've got to open this. Some of these computers run slower than others, so if you get behind, I'll come around and help you get caught back up. Now, once you have your header footer tab opened on this menu, you're going to click this menu arrow here, and you're choosing page 1 of question mark. It's the third option. Okay, choose page 1 of question mark. Everybody got that?
Yes.
Okay. Now we're going to move on to create the footer. Again, you open your page setup dialog box. We're just going to go ahead and tell this one okay and open it again just to make sure you understand. You're on the page layout tab on your ribbon, your page setup area. You're going to open this dialog box. You're going to go to your header footer tab. Now we're going to go to custom footer. It doesn't want us to use the footer options here. We're going to use a custom footer. Okay, now it wants us to click inside the left section, and you'll notice you have left, center, and right sections. So click inside your left section, your cursor should be flashing there. And it wants you to insert the date button, to insert today's date. Now your date button is this icon that has the calendar days on it. So you simply press your date button. Everybody got that part? Do you get over here, Peyton? Okay. Once you have that inserted, you're going to hit the enter key, and right underneath that, you're going to insert the sheet name. This is this icon. It looks like a miniature workbook. See down here on the bottom, you have your tabs. That's what this icon looks like here. So you're going to insert your sheet name there. Okay, the next instructions on, we're on E, on page 4A. We're going to click inside your center section. Here it wants you to type your name. So simply type your name. Once you have that completed, you're going to click inside your right section. Inside the right section, we're going to insert a picture. Anybody know which icon you would use to insert the picture?
Insert. One that looks like a picture.
That's right. It looks like mountains with the sun in the background. Okay, you're going to insert picture, and again, you're going to go to My Computer. You're going to go to your disk drive, go to Data Files, go to Excel. These are steps we do pretty much every day, so you should know where to find your data files. Once you have this up, it's going to be the last image, Voyager Travel logo. So you're going to choose that. Okay? Now, that was step F completed. Step G says click the Format Picture button, and on the Size tab, set the scale height and width to 25%. So this is your Format Picture button right here beside the Insert Picture button. Has the paint bucket and the paintbrush on it. You're going to click that, and our scale is here, height and width. Now once you click inside that height and you change it to 25%, and you click over here in the width box, you'll notice it automatically changes that as well. So once you have that set, you can tell it okay. We're done with this part on the footer, so you can tell that okay. Now, in step 6, it wants us to change our bottom margin. So click on your margin tab here. Any of you that didn't see what I just did, I just simply moved right here to margins and I clicked to this tab. You're going to change your bottom margin to 1.2. Now if you use the arrow button, it jumps up to 1.25. So you may just want to manually type it in on your keyboard. Change your bottom margin to 1.2 and tell it OK. Now we're going to move along to step number 7. It says print the entire workbook using that option in the print dialog box. What we're going to do is go up here in the top left-hand corner to our office button, go over to print, click on print, and if you'll notice here, under print what, which is the third section on the left, you have selection, active sheets, entire workbook, or ignore print areas. We're going to choose to print the entire workbook. However, we're not going to print in this class right now. We're conserving ink. So in the event we were printing, you would tell it OK. But we're just going to cancel for now. And if you'll notice, the worksheets were printing on 2 pages each, and that the data was wider than it was long. In this case, the book tells us that we would want to use the landscape orientation instead of portrait. So while you're still on your page layout tab on your ribbon, you're going to go to orientation, which is under your page setup area, and you're going to change to landscape orientation. Now if you'll notice, I'm going to go back to portrait for a second. You see these dotted lines on the screen? This is showing you where your print area is. Anything inside this dotted line is what's going to show up when you print this document. So watch that dotted line. When I change to landscape orientation, you see it moves. So now everything is going to print. So landscape orientation would be much better to print this document. Okay, it wants us to preview the trip budget worksheet, so we're going to go back to our office button. We're going to go to the print and print preview option. As you can see, when you preview it, it shows it doesn't cut anything off. Okay, so this looks much better. We're going to close print preview. And now on number 10, it tells us to use the width and height boxes on the ribbon to change the print scale so that all the columns and the rows fit on one page. Okay, so see these width and height boxes? We want to change it to say 1 page. Does everybody have that? It's on the page layout tab in the scale to fit area. You have width and height, and you change them both to say 1 page by clicking that arrow and choosing 1 page. Okay, and again, it tells you to print. However, we're just going to print preview one more time so you can see that everything is on 1 page now. It says page 1 of 1 at the top here. All right, so if you will just close that, you're going to save it. Save as, make sure you click on My Documents. We're just going to leave the title of it to copy of 23 trip budget. That's fine. You've got it on My Documents. And you're going to click Save. Okay, once you have it saved, I want you to go back to your digital lockers. Click on your digital locker on your Gaggle account. You're going to go to Add File. Make sure you've got it on My Documents. You're going to find Copy of 23 Trip Budget. Tell it to open. And just save it in your Gaggle digital locker until we're ready to submit it at the end of the chapter. Okay, does anybody need me to review anything on that? Everybody feel like we're good on that? Okay. We're going to go back to Excel now, and we're going to move right along to exercise 25, and no one has any questions about this. Okay, proud of everybody for the most part anyway. Most of you have kept up today and done what you were supposed to do. I didn't have to get on to you too much. Maybe I should record every day. Okay, we've got just about 2 minutes before the bell rings, so I want you to close your books up, clean up your areas. Make sure all of your work is saved in your digital locker so we can resume tomorrow on our next lesson. And everybody log off your computers, start getting your stuff together. Don't leave anything behind. Y'all have a good afternoon. See you tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.